In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Salaam Alaikum. Mr. Moderator, our distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, our friends and our enemies.
Salam Rasulullah wa ba'd, in the name of Allah, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon his last and final messenger. Family, friends, foes, haters, and hateettes, welcome back to the Feachaz. I greet you all in peace and love with no hatred in my heart. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So before we begin, please like, please subscribe, and please share. As you know, we got a lot of haters up in here. And family, we got a treat for you today. Okay, we got a real treat to you. Yesterday, I did a live, and I had a completely different live in mind for today's topic. But Bruce Rivers, the criminal lawyer, reacts, right? He reacted to several videos concerning Andrew Tate. He doesn't pick his content. Actually, it's his son who picks the content for the channel, and he just reacts. Bruce Rivers is an actual criminal lawyer. Okay, he's a very successful criminal lawyer. So his son has made this channel for this criminal lawyer, Bruce Rivers, and he's done some really amazing and honest reactions to a lot of different criminal trials, right? But he's reacted to Andrew Tate several times. But this one, why we picked this one, okay, is, as I said, he don't pick the topics. The topics just end up in his lap. And the topic was about Andrew Tate's conversion. And I watched it, and I was like, man, I got to bring this to you because once again, one more again, Negrodamus has predicted the future. You know, we have said many a times that it's just going to be a matter of time before the non-Muslims start making this connection, 1 + 1 = 2, with this YouTubian Da'i elite stuff. They're just going to make the connection, okay? And they're going to say, what in the world is going on here? Well, as the old saying goes, shots fired. Shots fired, okay? Bruce Rivers gave a reaction. His reactions are always usually very good, right? They're pretty good, but they're not for the kids. So if your kids are awake and watching with you, you might want to send them to their bed. It's too late for them to be up anyways. It's like 8 o'clock at night. You know, they should be getting their pajamas on, right? And going to bed, okay? Because Bruce Rivers has some very choice words, some very adult language, okay? And we are going to go into this hot, okay? So like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Patreon, right? And if you like what you see with Bruce Rivers' channel, is this Bruce Rivers, the criminal lawyer reacts. That's the name of the channel. And let's have a look at what he's got to say. Let's get into it.
Andrew Tate is a Muslim.
I'm a Muslim, and I hope you men at home are Muslim too. So I feel like I find an affinity to a belief system which has very similar outlooks.
Imagine you could have 3 wives, fuck them all at the same time. Imagine they were all loyal to you and obeyed every word, cooked for you, cleaned for you, did anything you said.
3 wives, fuck them all at the same time. How many guys have 3 penises? Not many. But what do you really want out of a wife, anyway? Or a partner? What do you want? You want somebody that is connection, share your life with, share your bed with, share, your dreams. Somebody to come along this journey with you and fuck them all, blah, 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 blah. It's like they're just property to him. I mean, It's just so ridiculous.
Would never cheat on you ever. In fact, another man can't even see their face.
I'm gonna find myself a nice Islamic ass.
Why wouldn't you want to see their face? And why wouldn't you want a man to see their face? I mean, here's the thing: if your partner is gonna cheat on you, see you later, bye bye. There's plenty of people out there that won't.
I'm gonna find myself a nice Islamic ass wife. I'm gonna build up a big pile of rocks in case she gets fresh. I'm gonna be prepared, so I ain't gonna mess around. As soon as I catch her.
Build up a big pile of rocks in case she gets fresh.
I hope y'all are hearing. Are y'all hearing this? Are y'all hearing this? Now he is only going off by what Andrew Tate is saying. This is the person that Muslims made famous. This is the person that Muslims made viral. And here are the consequences in real time. You know what he means by a big pile of rocks. And of course, Bruce Rivers like, what are you talking about right now? Listen to what Bruce Rivers say. What do you think he's about to say? Look here. What's he gonna say?
What does that mean? Does that mean he's gonna stone her? I mean, have we not evolved, from the biblical days where you stone somebody who commits adultery?
Hello. Ain't this what we've been saying? Ain't this what we've been saying? These actions have consequences. And now the consequences are here. If y'all go to Bruce Rivers' channel, he's got like a few 100,000 subs. Probably the biggest channel that I've seen to react to this. And his audience is just like, they're just interested in his reactions to these high-profile criminal trials. That's it. So every single stereotype and trope against Muslims, here come Andrew Tate pushing it like it's a good thing. Okay? Every single stereotype. And now, here come the YouTubian chickens coming home to roost.
No delays. Imagine a Muslim wife sitting there in her burqa trying to say this crap. But the way I was feeling different inside, and I had to psychological do.
Imagine listening to your fucking partner. Oh my God, how you're feeling? Oh, time to, I don't know, take you out back to the woodshed? What the fuck?
Get stoned.
You see what I'm saying? You see, he's making Islam look terrible. And Muslims are pushing this stuff. Every single trope and stereotype. He's saying it's all good. And now here they come.
Stoned! I got stoned! Give me a fucking break. Stoner, right? Okay, first of all, you can't do that. It's illegal. It's called assault. And if you was stoner too hard, it could be third-degree assault, which is like breaking bones and stuff. And if you use a rock that's big enough, it's probably a deadly weapon, so that's second-degree assault. I mean, come on. Who believes in this shit?
You're about to feel something, a rock in your face.
Oh, that's so funny.
So, Brother Muhammad Adam, he's saying, look what the Brother Muhammad Adam, he's saying, the majority of old clips before brother became Muslim and informed of Islam, I don't see him doing these days. That's all we got to say. We don't do that here, okay? All we do is receipts. That's it. If you don't know, then don't say anything. That's better for you. It's better for you if you don't know. Don't say anything because you be getting this. Like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously. Just a few weeks ago. Anyway, you're gonna see it in this video. Anyways, let's just keep watching, Brother Muhammad Adam. Let's keep watching, y'all. Okay.
About domestic violence. Come on, fucking A. And he's smiling and he's joking around about it.
Tell me you wouldn't want that. You have to be the highest of status males to pull that off in the Western world. I pull that off, and I'm the best I've ever seen. I've never
Oh, yeah. It's because he's blind.
seen a man on my level, ever. And I pull it off. But for the majority of people in the Western world, it's impossible to have one woman who behaves, let alone three, let alone...
One woman that behaves. Here's the thing. If you have a partner that's similarly situated to you, where, like, let's say you're both doctors, or you're both lawyers, or you're both welders, or whatever, or you have similar interests, you're both skiers, you do this, you do that. Do you really have to worry about a woman behaving? What about you behaving? What about him behaving? He can behave any way he wants. But the woman, the rules are different for her, right?
all fucking you at once, all having your kids, all obeying you like slaves. Under his law.
Like slaves. Like slaves. Guess what? That motherfucker is going to be played in court in his trial. Like slaves.
That's a fact. That is a fact. For those of y'all who don't know, there's an entire Instagram, okay? And it's pretty big. Like, it's well sized. Like, I would say medium to big size. All of this is Andrew Tate Islamic clips. That's all it is. And it's like it's supposed to be this Andrew Tate Dow type channel. Okay? All this stuff is like recent stuff. So if y'all don't know, ask before you talk. Okay?
Islam is possible. This is why Islam is so powerful. This is why people believe it so absolutely.
Inshallah. Welcome to the new Muslim Tate.
Oh my God.
I'm a Muslim, and I hope.
All right. So that's a little bit of Andrew Tate humor. Let's see what other words of wisdom we can hear from the great one. So this next, I haven't seen these. So this is Andrew Tate experiencing a glitch in the Matrix, whatever the fuck that means. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there is no Matrix unless I'm part of the Matrix. There's no fucking Matrix. It's stupid.
A woman with the correct instruction can make enough money to set herself up for life. And what's the downside? There's pictures of her tits under a fake name on some website nobody goes to.
Okay, what's the downside to a permanent record of you out there with your tits hanging out? I mean, plenty of people do it. I get it.
Who really gives a shit? You think I'm insecure enough to think, oh no, my wife, someone's seen her pixelated tits with a fake name?
Wait a second. You just said you didn't want anybody to see your wife's face. Now her tits are fair game? Seems there's a paradox there.
That, right? Y'all get that, right? He just finished saying, because he's trying to pander to Muslims for the bag. And that's what this whole Muhammad hijab, Eddie from the Dean show, and now Daniel Kikuchu and the Muslim metaphysics stuff is all about on the what's that show again? Valuetainment. That's what all of this is about. Not every existential threat is hostile. Sometimes the existential threat comes to you looking like they're on your team. That's all this is about. Monetizing the insecurities of immigrant Muslims now. It's total insanity. Absolute insanity. And immigrant Muslims are eating this crap hook, line, and sinker. For the most part, the wider black community, the black Muslim community, they don't ride with Andrew Tate like that. We understand a pimp when we see one. Only some of these simp Negroes who don't know their heads from their butts, they're the ones who are rolling with Andrew Tate like that. You get me? Now there's this hardcore push. Hardcore push. Which is, again, like I said, not every existential threat is a hostile threat. Sometimes they come just like Iblis came to Adam. Verily, I'm a sincere advisor to you. Sometimes they come like that. Adam didn't know. He was naive. He did not know. He thought that Iblis was telling him the truth. He thought that Iblis was seriously a sincere advisor to himself. Did he not? Like all these YouTubers, just like this. That's why they rode with Andrew Tate so hard. And now, again, the virtual chickens are coming home to roost. And they just like, you know that scene with the Simpsons, the Bart Simpson, or is it Bart Simpson? Why can't Homer Simpson? He's like backing into the bushes and stuff. Maybe somebody can send me the clip if y'all can find it. Right? But he backing into the bushes because he's trying to hide, from what something he just did. And make it look like, oh, it wasn't me. That's these guys. They make an absolute disaster and just quietly walk off into the shadows without addressing that a disaster that they made. That's these dudes. Okay? So in one instant, Andrew Tate got a problem with you seeing his wife's face. Now he don't have a problem with you seeing his wife's breast. Y'all get me? Because it's the pandering. This is what he does. He was essentially pimping women, and at the same time fleecing men out of all of their money because of these women. And at the same time, while he's doing all that, monetizing the insecurities of the very men that he just fleeced from the woman that he pretended to be online so that he can take their money. You can't make this crap up. You cannot make this crap up. And if you don't think there's some sort of plot or plan, this is what y'all got to do, okay? Research Project 2025 and then tell me that I'm lying. Go research that. Project 2025. Google it. Project 2025. And then the pieces of the puzzle will become clear. The plot becomes clearer to you. These YouTubian da'i elites that put these personalities in front of you, they are an existential threat. But they are the ones telling you that they are the sincere advisors. Who's going to clean this mess up now? Which one of them? Let's keep watching, y'all.
Oh,
It's
no, I'm
not that they're-
devastated. I can't drive my Bugatti with
Government has all my Bugattis. That was the dumbest thing he could have done. He spent all that fucking money on those cars. If he would have put his money into Apple stock, I mean, it'd be way more valuable. Number one, and number two, it would be paying him money. But no, he's got to have the Bugatti that he doesn't have. When he got his first 60 grand, what did he do? He bought a used Aston Martin.
I was once 26 and a half, and me and my brother bought an Aston Martin with our joint funds. And at the time that we bought this car for £80,000, our total bank balance was around £80,000. You know, it was the very early days of the webcam days.
And what is that? That's your real world hustler right there. That's the guy who's got all the great advice, who's under the watchful eyes of the Romanian government.
my wife. Oh, this is so hard.
It's not that they're
May I remind you, okay, what the Warner said. Remember the Warner we talked about him? Dude, move exactly like one of these YouTubian grifters. I mean, there's too many of them now. Like YouTube right now is saturated with YouTubian Dawa grifters. It's not like before. It's not even like last year is not even like this year. Since the rise of Andrew Tate. Last year is not even like this year. You'll be hard pressed to find actual Dawa channels with substance. That's why this channel right here, we don't get involved in the Dawa stuff on here, specifically because of these YouTubian elites and this mess. It's too much. It's way too much. How do you clean something like this up? You can't. It's impossible. Remember the Warner talking about Andrew Tate, you changed my life? How? Not the Warner changing Andrew Tate. Warner outside making dollar, right? He on the streets calling people to Allah, right? That's what he's doing. The Warner, he said by his own admission that he was a bodyguard, 6'8", massive guy, got into fights. What is Andrew Tate going to teach him about masculinity? If your answer is a whole bunch of nothing, then you are correct. That would be the right answer. But if you're on a grift, and if your religion is algorithm Islam, if that's your religion, and you go wherever the algorithms take you, and damn the consequences, and don't let that pesky old Quran and Sunnah get in your way, then of course Andrew Tate becomes the change of your life because he's popping right now. He is viral. The most Googled man in history. Andrew Tate. Most Googled dude in history. You know who else is going to be real popular when he comes? The Dajjal. Ain't nobody going to be out popular the Dajjal when he gets here. And this is the infrastructure and the pathways for the people being prepared for them to follow the Dajjal. Because if you can follow liars like this, then you liable to follow anybody. And the Dajjal won't have to do that much work to confuse you. If you get confused by stuff like this, the Dajjal will not have to work too hard to confuse you. Let's keep watching, y'all.
When you get engaged to a Muslim woman, you don't have to worry about pictures of her past appearing on the internet.
What is going on here?
Wise words from Andrew Tate.
Glitch in the Matrix. It happens when they change something.
The Matrix has attacked me.
The Matrix has attacked him. I love these titles. This next one is Andrew Tate is a compulsive liar. And here's the thing. Do I have an axe to grind with Andrew Tate? Fuck no. I'm not bitching because I lost all this money to Hustler University or The Real World or The War Room or whatever. I'm not. Am I jealous of him because he got all of his assets forfeited? No, not jealous of that either. Am I jealous of him because he's got all these women and I'm just this guy and they've got a short dick? And no, I'm not jealous of his women. I'm not jealous of anything about him. I like my life. I've set my life up in a very great way. I have my own law practice. I have my own yacht. I have my own place in Florida. I have my own Bugatti type assets, but I don't really brag about them. You know what I mean? I mean, I kind of just did, I guess, a little bit. But I'm more wanting to show you the hypocrisy of this dickhead so you don't fall into his trap. But it's also kind of funny to watch him and his hypocrisy.
This is a lesson for you. When you bullshit, when you...
You know, people who watch this kind of stuff, right? and they get sucked into the rabbit holes known as the algorithm, right? These are people who are intellectually lazy, and their entire thought process is whatever they're being told to think. So if they are told that their thoughts are their own thoughts, meanwhile, they're achieving every single thought that they have through inception, they're going to believe that no, these thoughts are not inception. These are actually my own thoughts. I'm a free thinker. They don't read books. I promise you, they don't read books. Talk to some of these kids right now who listen to what you call it, Daniel Hikikuchu. Test them, just test them. You know, what's the last book you read this month or this year even? They will go to Google and take a picture and send you a picture of a book that they haven't read. Best case scenario, they will listen to an audiobook and said, I read that book. Let me make something clear. Listening to an audiobook is not reading a book, okay? Right? Listening to an audiobook is not reading a book. It's a totally different thing. Don't confuse the two. So their whole worldview is shaped and speculated strictly on popular culture through virtual apparatus like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and things of this nature. That's it. If they don't get their information from there, they're not getting information. Period. Jazakallah khair, may Allah reward you and bless you, multiply it for you 1,000-fold. Anti-gravity 74. Is it confirmed if Tate is a Muslim? He has some very iffy comments about Islam, even if a revert were quite out there. Allahu alam. Allahu alam. I don't know. I really don't know. Allahu alam. He took a shahada. But this is what I do know. I know a hustler when I see one. He's absolutely a hustler, 100%. Whether or not he became Muslim for the sake of Islam, Allahu alam, but for what is a fact is that he is absolutely banking off of the Muslims. And he is leveraging these self-hating immigrants and zaddy-loving brownies, their insecurities. He's leveraging their insecurities so that he can use millions of people as shields in the court of public opinion for him. Go look at some of these channels. Look at Muslim Mom channel. Look at her channel. Look at some that was something. All these channels just suddenly appear on my feed. Pro Andrew Tate. Not a single criticism of the guy. Not one. And now it's all coming full circle. Because Bruce Rivers ain't got nothing to do with the Muslims, okay? This thing landed on his lap. And you can see Bruce Rivers, he is just smiting Andrew Tate for his debauchery. Absolutely smiting him. A non-religious lawyer. Can you imagine? So if he can see through it, how is it possible the Muslims can't? It's absolutely insane. Let's keep watching, y'all.
Lie. You don't like to make firm points because you're giving points of attack, right? If you make a firm statement, it can be firmly debunked.
Is it?
Huh. In other words, he's setting it, he's telling you right off the bat that he's going to be a fucking liar.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much
Unbelievable.
what he's
Is
saying.
it true that you and your brother made money from video chat studios?
No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all.
Lie.
I first became a multimillionaire by running a webcam studio. So
See, you don't want to say something absolute. Oh wait, he just said something absolute. He's just full of shit. He's a bullshitter and he's a liar.
I ran a webcam studio. I used to run a webcam business. We just start fucking hammering the webcam game.
And over time, I just built up this big little empire of webcam girls. At one point, I had 4 locations, 75 girls working for me.
How long ago was your webcam business?
Yeah, so I stopped having any involvement with it, I think 8 to 9 years ago.
Okay, so the brother, Muhammad Adam, he was saying that these things happened a long time ago, right? This is his interview with Candace Owens. This was maybe 4 weeks ago, long after he became Muslim. And he here just, this is why we said he's very obviously hustling the Muslims. It's very clear. How are you just going to lie like that? Look at here.
I stopped. It was a long time ago. It was at the early stages of the internet.
Lie.
When Corona came, I scaled it back up, right?
You don't want to say anything that's absolute because, oh wait, he just did it again. He's so full of shit.
Because Corona came, it was locked down.
And all these guys were in their basement jerking off. And so I figured, what a great marketing opportunity.
My casinos were closed, so I lost an income. I was making $500,000 a month from casinos. That closed because they're physical locations in Romania. That closed, and I thought, well, everyone's at home bored. Let me get the webcam going again. So I got 20 more girls online. We scaled that back up to $300,000 or $400,000 a month.
So $300,000-$400,000 a month. And now in the real world, I don't know if he still's got that kind of like $1 million a month, but that's where he's making his money. I mean, just off the backs of people, not employing the techniques that he tries to teach that are just bullshit that you can get on the internet for free anyway.
So I got back into the game hard. I helped the girls set up accounts.
If you look at these juxtapositions, actually, these lies, he says one thing and then he says another. All this stuff is going to be used in his trial. When you speak, your words come into play as long as they're relevant. So if he's saying he didn't do the webcam stuff, then all of a sudden he says he did, that lie comes into court. If he says that he would set their own accounts up and then he later didn't, that comes in as a lie. And here's why that's important. All these lies that he has told along the way make it almost impossible for him to testify in court.
You start with a girl, you download OnlyFans on your phone, you take her ID pictures, her name, everything it takes to verify the account, you verify the account on your phone, and you control the account.
That's fraud. Using her stuff and keeping everything from her, but telling her that, you know, look, you're getting half and this will be yours. And and that's part of force, fraud, or coercion, which is what sex trafficking is.
So you are now in charge of her OnlyFans.
The girls would sit there fully clothed.
Oh my gosh, like that was an outrageous lie. That was an outrageous lie. Come on, man. What are we doing here, man? Like, let me get to some of y'all comments, because some of y'all are really leaving some really, really good comments. Okay. 1 second, y'all. Let me see. Okay, so Muhammad Fawzi said, the point, Brother Muhammad, is that Muslim YouTubers have promoted Tate from bringing him on their platforms instead of giving him dawah off camera, carelessly causing fitna to the non-Muslims. Exactly. When have you seen anything like this? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, anything remotely close to this? 20 years ago? Have any of y'all seen anything like this? The closest thing you can say that happened to this was Musa Cherantonio. We did a video about that too. How this white boy from Australia became Muslim yesterday and they put him on Peace TV tomorrow. And how did that turn out? Musa Cherantonio. They couldn't wait to put him on Peace TV. You know why he did it. Everybody don't want to say it. I will tell you why. We already know why. How did that turn out? So, and anyways, this is what they do. This is what they do. So now, because Muslims are the immigrants, mind you, mostly the immigrants, they are so thirsty to be accepted by Zaddy and accepted by the dominant society. They ain't looking to make the dominant society Muslim. They looking to look what Muhammad Hijab doing now. And Eddie from the Dean Show, this weird alliance between Eddie from the Dean Show and Muhammad Hijab, the weirdest alliance I ever seen. Eddie from the Dean Show built his platform by inviting Salafi scholarship. Muhammad Hijab spends a whole lot of time refuting Salafi scholarship. What brought them together? What brought them together? Under the guise of the LGBTs. But really, it's this new alt-right push because that is very profitable. And we told y'all before that in the left-right paradigm, the right wing, that is that old money. They are the ones with the money. Okay? In a democratic system. That's that old-time money. That's why they're called conservative. They want to conserve the old ways. What is that old money? The money that was built off of slavery and colonization and displacing native populations and stealing land. That's the conservatives. That's that old money. Y'all hearing me? The same money that bombed your countries, that money, that George Bush money, George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., getting heavily involved in a Cold War, not in their country, but in Iraq and Iran. Millions of Muslims dying over a war that they caused. And then 9/11. We see what happened with 9/11. We see what happened with Saddam Hussein. We see what happened with, even before 9/11, Desert Storm. That was George Bush Sr. Some of y'all don't remember that. You don't remember Desert Storm. We thought that Desert Storm was going to be the beginning of World War III. We seriously thought that. Before 9/11. We believed that. This is the alliance that your YouTubian elites are begging for today. Begging for it. The people that have caused your mothers and your fathers to be refugees in a non-Muslim country, that's who they want to ally themselves with today. Those folks. Some of them are refugees because of what happened in those times. You have got to be kidding me. That's what this whole Andrew Tate alt-right red pill stuff is about. Monetizing your own indoctrination. Making you believe that we are more aligned with the right-leaning politics and the issue of LGBT. Well, what a lie. We ain't aligned with the left or the right in anything. You've got to be kidding me. May Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you a millionfold. Anti-Gravity 74. If you own or operate a casino in a third world country, you are a certified gangster. No clean businessman can do that in a corrupt country. This is an excellent point. Keep in mind that Andrew Tate is not a Romanian citizen. How is he operating casino in Romania? It got to be dirty money. That's an amazing point. Amazing point. Some of these comments are just dope. 1 second. Let me get to some of these comments here. 1 second, y'all. Sister Tika Harding. Those are the insecure men who panders to follow Tate. Let's be honest. What confident man is going to listen to Tate and take him seriously? That's another point. Game recognizes game. Like, confident men are not looking to Andrew Tate to be their mentor. It's ridiculous. The whole idea behind that is preposterous. It's absolutely preposterous. But if you don't have confidence and you're looking for a superhero, and here comes the guy saying all the things that you wish you could say, yeah, you'll want to follow him. But when you start, just ripping the layers off the surface, what does he do for his money? Oh, he pimps and he runs a casino. That's how you're going to be a high value man now? Y'all are tripping. Y'all are tripping. Anti-gravity again. Tate is definitely hilarious at times, but what self-respecting Muslim want to be like a pimp? I promise you. This whole Andrew Tate thing, you mark my words, you heard it here first. You are going to see the rise of the Western Muslim pimp. Mark my words, because of this stuff. Mark my words. You heard it here first. You're going to see it. Do you know there's a prophecy for the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him? He's talking about the last days. And he's talking about the people in the last days. And he's saying those people in the last days, they will make wearing silk halal and listening to music halal and zina halal. They'll make zina, illicit fornication. They're going to make that halal. We've already seen the rise of this already. The red pill Muslim. This is already happening in real time. You think the Muslims are just going to ignore Andrew Tate's, PhD program, pimp a hose degree program? You think they're just going to ignore that? Believe me, I promise you, even right now as we speak, I promise you there are Muslims. I don't know them personally. I never seen them, I never met them, right? But based on common sense, they are spending money in Andrew Tate's war room trying to get that pimp and hose degree knowledge. Dr. Sebastian Longstaff. The Dean Show has an LGBT intro music. Oh my gosh, man.
Hello, how are you?
Oh my gosh.
Please help me. You're too much raining.
Oh my gosh. Let's get back to this video, y'all. Let's go. Let's get it.
In there with their tits out on a computer.
They're just, this is taken out of context.
I had naked girls sitting on the internet talking to guys, just laughing and doing this, their titties out. So I actually think that webcamming and girls as a whole is closer to therapy than it is porn.
What?
Oh, boy.
Webcam girls are closer to, really? What's your main therapeutic tool? The oil you put on your wiener? I mean, that's the only reason these guys do this.
Truly, these men are completely miserable, and the only joy they have is logging into that website.
Yeah, about 3 minutes in.
So I don't think I did exploit that. We got to the point where we had these guys falling in love with my models, serious, big time in love, right? Sending crazy money, and they were convinced they were going to meet the chick, and they were talking to
Again, fraud. Hook 'em, hook 'em, hook 'em. And what does he always do? What's the common denominator that he always does? He preys on the weak. These young kids who think they're just going to make it, oh, if I follow Andrew Tate, I'm just going to be a millionaire in 2 minutes. If you're one of these guys that he's talking about that's falling in love with these people that you're paying all this money to, if money's going out the door, I heard a great phrase once. You can lose money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money. Just as simple as that. But be yourself. Be confident in who you are. Everybody's got a quality that's good. Everybody has their strength. I'll tell you about somebody. I used to be a professor in law school. I used to teach first year law school. And this woman who was in my class had a crisis of confidence. And I never even dawned on me. She's a little bit bigger, middle age, not super attractive. She had power within her, And she kind of yelled at me at the end of one class. And she says, well, I'm this. She was frustrated. And I said, stop right there. Look what you just did. The way she forcefully was going after me, not after me, but she was just pleading her case that she didn't have any of these assets. And I'm like, wait a second. Go look in the mirror. Look what you just did. You're passionate. You've got some power to you. And all I did is give her a pep talk and told her, her attributes that made her an effective litigator. Turned her right around. I just changed her perspective. You're one of these weak guys, become a strong guy. And I don't mean strong guy, but I mean, look at the best parts of yourself and bring those out and get out of your fucking basement. Get out from behind your computer. Although now you're probably on YouTube on your computer. but but when you believe in yourself, others believe that too. So if you're paying a whole bunch of money to either a stripper who says they love you, or if you're paying a whole bunch of money to somebody online that says they love you, fuck that. If money's going out the door to get the affection that's not real affection, get rid of it. You're better off going for a run, honestly, because you'll get endorphins rush from a run. This guy's so full of shit, and he just preys on the weak in one.
There's a whole generation now of men, mostly, right, who don't know even what playing outside is, man. Like, I remember when I was growing up, our parents used to have to fight us to come inside the house. We'd be outside every single day playing all kinds of stuff, road hockey, foot hockey, going out in the snow, whatever it was, right? Tag, hide and seek, all that kind of stuff. Now, in our times, you have to fight your kids to go outside and play. Fight them. So what are they doing inside? What are they doing inside? They're inside, essentially frying brain cells while being indoctrinated on video games, on social media, these type of things. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. And it's very, very clear. So instead of going out and do the things that they got to do, how difficult is it to join a gym? And instead of spending, hours on social media, go to the gym and half an hour in the gym every day that's all you need. How difficult is that? But they can't because they have to watch that next video and all that kind of stuff. And the way that they speak, this generation coming up, is absolutely ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. The way that they talk, this is the generation of cognitive dissonance. They can excuse their personalities with the most lame excuses and think that they've done something. You know what I mean? You can show them all the proof in the world, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're just a hater." That's the generation we live in right now. Let's keep watching, yo.
What he does is he talks about the matrix relying, trying to make sure that you're weak and he preys on that. He wants you to be weak. He wants you to need him. Because if you don't, guess what? You're no longer subscribing to his service, are you? And if you're not subscribing to his service, you're getting out there. And if you're getting out there, you're getting real in the real world, not the fake world.
Ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it.
Look at that. Look at that fucking hubris. Look at that attitude he has, the disdain he has for the people who are giving him the money. He's not grateful. He's not grateful for customers. He thinks they're fucking stupid as shit. I mean, that's how he thinks about his subscribers.
They come and say, what kind of, all of it. We're fucking milking them dry.
Milking them dry. I take no pleasure in fucking somebody over. That's why I don't do it.
So they come along and they said, oh, you're a human trafficker. I was like, well, I've never transported anyone. I've never kidnapped anyone. I've never restricted anyone. I've never held anyone. I said, no, but you're a human trafficker via the lover boy method. I said, what's that? It's where you pretend to love them. So what, being nice? So I was nice to some girls 10 years ago? Is that my crime? Maybe I did love them. But we're not together anymore, so what? I pretended? Who said I pretended? Prove I pretended to love. And then what did I pretend to love them to achieve?
I think there's a 300-page indictment that has a whole bunch of this shit in there.
I have to fuck her so she obeys me.
Okay, I want you to go to your mother right now and ask her, Mom, I'm thinking about getting involved in a relationship, and I'm going to really have to fuck her so she obeys me. And see what your mom says to you about that statement.
I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me.
Tell your mom that too. And see what the fuck she says. I mean, come on. This doesn't work in the real world. It works in the fake world of Andrew Tate. You don't have to fuck somebody to obey him. You know what you have to do to get loyalty from a woman? Buy her a flower once in a while.
Actually, this is a real tactic, to be honest, and there's books written on it. There's a book written by a man named Iceberg Slim, right? And it's called Pimp. And he outlines these tactics in order to control women. And there's several books about this. If you read books on how pimps they control women, these are the tactics that they actually use, like this. And it's very clear that Andrew Tate, he studied this. It's very, very obvious. All right. You know, there's one called The Nature of the Woman, something like this. All these pimp books, right? How to manipulate, they don't say manipulate, but whatever, right? But they just kind of go through how the processes of how to control women and get them to work for you through, the sex industry, right? And that's their tactics, how they do it, right? And they all talking about beating the woman, beating them to a pulp, and then, being nice to them afterwards, right? All of them talk about that. And then this is exactly what Andrew Tate does, right? All these tactics, okay? So the difference is that Andrew Tate, he took it virtual, right? He's a virtual pimp. So these are actual real world methods of controlling women. And there's a certain demographic of women that they look for, right? They look for women with who come from single parent homes. They intentionally seek these women out. Women who are young, vulnerable, naive, don't have men in their life. These are the women that they're actually targeting. They target these types of women. Women in group homes, like this, young girls. They'll target them like 14 years old, 15-year-olds, these type of things. They want to get them when they're young, right? Because once you get them when they're young, you can control them like for a long, long, long time, right? Iceberg Slim, he mentioned in his book that a woman, well, he uses his pimp language, but I'm going to basically sanitize it for you, all right? So I don't want to use the language he used, but he said a woman, right, who is in the sex industry, she's good for 500 escapades with Johns. Okay, so 500 of those encounters, she's good for that. Once she reaches that mark, psychologically, her psychology will change and she will be no good anymore. So you have to calculate in your head up until that 500 mark, 500 time mark, how long she's going to be good for. You get me? There's a life expectancy for that lifestyle. And Andrew Tate, he knows this as well, right? So he knows this because he studied this. It's very obvious he studied it. Yeah, brother C.L. Edwards, he mentions that Target Sheet got a book too as well. He wrote about being a pimp. He wrote about being a pimp, and to be honest, he uses a lot of that method to exploit black folk right now. So, but anyways, that's a different story for a different time. Right, but Target Sheet is another one. In all honesty, you know what I mean. But anyways, let's keep watching, y'all.
Tell her she's pretty. Have a conversation. Listen to her emotional problems, and connect. I mean, that's all you have to do. It doesn't take much. And if you develop that, guess what you've done? You've built a relationship. What's that word? A relationship? Fucking A. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, don't follow that advice. That's all simp stuff. Okay, sorry to sound like that. don't pay attention. Okay, let's keep watching.
I just can't believe this.
So I can get what I actually want.
Oh, what he actually wants. What does he actually want? Let's hear this.
Which is not them.
Not them. Oh, not them. Give me a break. Which is what? Fraud. That's the lover boy method.
It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, but they got paid.
When I watch a Bond film and I see him basically pimp a bitch, to me that speaks to my heart. I've been there.
Speaks to his heart. If his heart is 2 sizes too small, but it speaks to it.
I've done that. Anyone who's followed me long enough knows that I first made my $1 million with a webcam business. I have met beautiful women with a good personality and thought, she will make me money. I have to fuck this bitch.
Wow, I tried using that line and I got fucking slapped and a drink in my face. I mean, give me a break. That's not real world.
I don't want to have sex with her. I just need the money.
I like to think
I don't want to have sex with her. I just need the money. Don't you think that's deplorable? I mean, it's such hubris. It's such coldness, really.
there's a statute of limitations. Like, how long are you going to hold?
They will for the rest of your career.
I'm sure they will. And it's fine. And that's fine. But I mean, it's just like, okay, 10 years ago, a decade.
10 years ago. Just a couple of years ago. How about ongoing?
But now we're coming towards the end of Corona. I'm going to keep like 5 or 6 of my main girls. Go bullshit.
So we're just going to do a couple more of these because they're fucking hilarious. And they're not hilarious because I agree with anything he says. They're hilarious because they're so fucking outrageous.
Moscow, you walk in the club, there's a 60-year-old mafia boss surrounded by 18-year-old girls. Bro.
Really?
Oh, yeah, all day.
So, Sister Tika, she said, wait, didn't Daniel Pikachu say that Tate wasn't a pimp? Didn't Tate just admit to being a pimp? What do you want me to tell y'all? Daniel Pikachu. Daniel Pikachu, right? He went all out defending Andrew Tate without even bothering to inspect the facts of the case. That's why we said nothing. Y'all remember when the news broke out? We didn't say anything. We waited first. As facts started coming out, we said, okay, just wait. You know what I mean? That's what we said. Then more facts started, and then he started. When we started talking about Andrew Tate is when he started talking. We said, just wait for the case. And as facts come out with the case, we'll probably mention it. He started talking, that's why we started talking, because he was outright lying. And we said, y'all remember back when we first started talking about Andrew, after the whole news broke of his conversion, Okay, we made one video about his conversion. We didn't talk about it again for a long time. And then we made one video when he got arrested. They were talking about him for a long time. And then he started speaking after his arrest. And we're like, what is this guy saying? He's lying. He's very clearly lying. That's when we started talking about him. So how is Daniel Haqiqat going to clean this up? He can't. Anyway, Daniel Haqiqat is dirty as hell anyway. He is an absolute liar. Liar. And Daniel Haqiqat true. He lies, man. And it's weird. This weird fascination that people have with him is just so weird. Because his lies are just outrageous and outlandish. And he's supposed to be a Harvard graduate. And we talked about this before. Folks coming out of those Ivy League schools generally are spooks. They're generally spooks. That's why they go to these Ivy League schools. They learn how to change public perception and public opinion in these schools. And that's exactly what he does. Anyways, keep watching, y'all.
It's completely normal. Completely.
Wait, the 6-year-old, he's not with 30-year-old chicks.
No, fuck no, he's rich. Think he's picking up some used up pussy? He's rich. No, bro. Used up pussies for the broke boys.
I was contacted by Andrew Tate, the older of the Tate brothers, 3 years ago when I was just 16. And I was a bit surprised because I had just made my Instagram account. I had a couple hundred followers, not a lot, a private account. And he obviously had a couple of million. He was pretty well known, especially.
That power differential is powerful, especially to a young person like this. But guess what? You start dealing with underage girls, and that's a problem no matter where you go.
By the guys in Romania and in the world. So he messaged me.
It read simply, Romanian girl, followed by a strawberry emoji.
Because like I said, intrigue, I'll put a completely pointless emoji on the end. Some cherries, or an orange, or a strawberry.
It was very obvious we were high school girls, like we had our high schools like in our bio and everything. I feel like he was just trying to find girls that seemed as like innocent or naive as possible.
So
yeah, we mentioned this already. We talked about this. That's who he targets. And he's telling you that he's targeting them. Watch this,
She's like,
and why would he do that? Why would he want girls as innocent or naive as possible? Because anybody that's a little bit older, that's been around the block a little bit, that has some smarts to them, they see right through his bullshit, and they weren't going to fall for it.
I'm only 16. I was like, give a fuck. Know about me. 21, I don't care. So I was so disappointed.
So for the brother Muhammad Adam, when he was saying that was a long time ago, this podcast was just a few weeks ago. After he became Muslim, he's saying this. Let's keep watching her.
Bruv, I was banging her. Like.
Did he just say he was banging a 16-year-old girl?
Looking at her Facebook on the phone, like just staring at a different face. Because I had to bang her. I won't date a girl.
Because I had to bang her. The disrespect for women is just so palpable. I think you get so much more by respecting women and being kind and decent to them than doing this kind of attitude.
And that's not even about bro, I won't. Bro, I'm 35 and I got more millions than my fucking age. I'm playing games, right? So I get to choose what I fucking want.
When I bring on new girls, I usually pair them with Vivian. Because Vivian's younger. Melissa's like 28, Vivian's like 21. So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's completely head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything.
So Vivian's been with me 6 years. She's 21. She wasn't 16. She was 15. 15.
Head over heels in love with me. She wants kids with me, everything.
Am văzut pe TikTok.
Another woman who didn't want to reveal her identity on camera showed us screenshots of an exchange between her and Tristan Tate when she was 17 that appears to follow Andrew's script. She was first contacted last May. His initial message reads, "You're beautiful."
And the true abundance mindset of you can have the pick of the crop. You can have the world's most attractive.
Okay, so did y'all read this? Remember, guys, 30 was first year that you can legally F women half your age. Right, that's Tristan Tate.
Women, I mean.
And remember, we mentioned this before. All these YouTubians, Mohammed Ijab, okay, the Dean Show, Eddie from the Dean Show, Daniel Hikikuchu. Okay, if you look at these guys, look at the type of folks that they protect. Look at the type of folks they protect. You have Andrew Tate, what he's being convicted with. You have Daniel Hikikuchu, rode hard for Donald Trump while trying to throw Martin Luther King under the bus. Donald Trump, a now indicted rapist, indicted, mind you. You know, he went to civil court and lost in a rape case. Donald Trump. Daniel Hikikuchu rode hard for him. Rode hard for Andrew Tate. Eddie from the Dean Show rode hard for Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson. You know, C.L. Edwards, he made an interesting. Your comments are fire today. He said, it wouldn't surprise me if one of these guys turns out to be LGBTQ. Look how many of these conservative types get caught double dipping. Look how many of them get caught double dipping. Okay. There was one of these conservative extremist women. I can't remember her name. Bonin or something like that. She got caught last week in a theater with her boyfriend in some high school groping contest watching Beetlejuice. It made it all over the news. And her boyfriend happened to be Bobert. His name is Bobert. Lauren Hobart. Lauren Hobart. Lauren Bobert. And Lauren Bobert, okay? Lauren Bobert, yeah. She was talking about family this and family that. You know what I mean? Family this and family that. And she gets caught out with her boyfriend who, what's his business? He run a drag queen bar. A whole drag queen bar. That's her boyfriend. Jesse Lee Peterson got all this work for homosexuality and stuff. All of this work. And he himself got outed for being a homosexual. And not just any a homosexual that molests men, okay, or gropes men. Okay? Jesse Lee Peterson. On the Dean Show. He got invited to the Dean Show. Talking about we got a lot in common. These are the folks that they protect and they putting on their shows and stuff. These folks. Go to the Dean Show. His banner today, you're going to see Andrew Tate's picture on it. People will eventually start saying, and they already have started saying, we showed you this last time, not last time, but a few times ago, right? A few videos ago, that these guys are going to say they're doing this stuff. They protect because this is what Islam promotes. That's people are going to start saying that stuff. They are coddling sexual predators, coddling them. Just today, Mohammed Ijab did a video on what's his face? What's that guy's name? Somebody put it in the chat, please. The actor. What's that actor's name again? The one from Britain, y'all. Somebody put it in the chat, man. It's a big news too. Y'all know who I'm talking about, man. Put it in the chat, please. You know what I'm talking about. That actor that got, is getting arrested for rape and stuff. Russell Brand. Okay. What's his face? You can't make this crap up. Muhammad Ijab did an entire video today about Russell Brand and his good statements about Islam that he said. You can't make this crap up. You can talk about anybody that you want. Do you think it's time to put another suspected sexual predator in the mouths of the Muslims again? Another one? Another one? But these guys, they really do not care. They don't. They care about how much views they can get. And here come the Muslims now. Oh yeah, that was a great video. That was an awesome video. Great video. Great video. Y'all are tripping, man. Y'all are tripping. Y'all are tripping. CL ever say Jesse like white meat? He sure does. Jesse Lee Peterson, love him some white meat. Victor Jordan Jr. says, online dawah is a mess. I stick to education Islamic videos. Even my humble opinion, read as many books as you possibly can, man. That's way better. It's way, way better, man. You know what I mean? The Islamic education videos are becoming like jewels now. You know what I mean? What do you mean? When you have a lot of something, it always loses its value, right? We all know the value of a Lamborghini, okay? Lamborghini is expensive because they are rare. They are handcrafted. You know what I mean? Only so many in the world. But let's say that Lamborghini decide to give everybody in the world a Lamborghini. It would lose its value. So now online dawah is just like that. It's very cheap. It's absolutely lost its value. For the last year and a half, especially last year and a half, and especially recently this year, it's absolutely saturated. The online dawah scene is saturated with a bunch of off-brand, off-code grifters. These guys, in any other sphere, it would be comical. But Muslims are taking these people very seriously and spreading their videos and have no clue that they have relinquished any type of integrity by sharing this stuff, and have weakened any positive Islamic message by doing that stuff. And you're talking about people doing it in the hundreds and thousands. It's like that protest last week. Remember we talked about that protest? I don't give a goddamn that thousands and thousands and thousands of Muslims went. That actually is proof that it was wrong. Thousands went, and not a single person knows who this dude is. What's his name? Omar Sheikh or whatever his name. Nobody knows who the organizer is. Not a single person. And thousands all across Canada, Muslims, went to this protest. I got shared that protest how many times? And you ask them simple question, who is this guy? Nobody knows who he is. Not a single person can tell me who that man is. Kamal Sheikh, that's the guy's name, Egyptian guy. the organizer of that 1,000,000-person march. Y'all just went. If y'all can go for him, you better believe you're going to go for the Dajjal. You better believe that. Nobody's asking the questions: who sent you? Who's organizing this? Which are the Islamic organizations that signed off on this? Which shaykh signed off on this? Which Islamic scholarship? Not a single scholar, not a single Islamic organization signed off on that. Yet thousands of Muslims went. Thousands. Y'all are tripping, man. Tell me I'm tripping.
One of my main chicks has 200,000 Instagram followers, and I took her virginity when she was 17.
I asked around to my other friends and my classmates who were also 15, 16 at the time. And a couple of them also told me they received messages. So we were very surprised.
What's going to happen is when people see this, there's always going to be some old hoe going. When I say old, I mean like 28. Should be sitting there going, you're not a real man because you're a real man. You can handle a strong woman. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't even talk to old hoes.
So let me just tell you something about that statement and that philosophy. Guess what? You can only have so much sex. You're eventually going to have to talk to whoever your partner is, right? And if you are constantly changing them out for younger women, it's just going to be that. They're just going to be used. And it's going to be ridiculous. 28 is not old. It's not an old. It's very young. Probably because I'm old, but what's wrong with connecting? What's wrong with having a solid relationship? What's wrong with getting wrapped up in the person you're with and falling in love? Where is all that in this? It's nowhere. And this is just abuse. Is really what it ultimately is.
Don't even fucking tell me because I don't care what you think because I don't want you.
I mean, there's just nothing inside him. You talked about his heart earlier. There is no heart there.
We started investigating this because we were wondering why this man was messaging all of us.
The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. I'll say this right here on the fucking internet.
It was a pretty well-known fact around it, even though he proclaimed that he's a kickboxer and a businessman and that's how he made his money, that he had kind of a network of young girls he employed or forced, we don't know, to do video chat for him and who knows what else.
Schools here in Romania are talking about the issue of online safety sparked.
One of the things that is going to come out in this trial, and I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen fairly soon. All of these things that he has said will be in the trial. I mean, not probably all of them, but anything that's salacious, anything that's on par with abuse is going to be in there. And anything that shows he's lying about one thing or another, and that's going to come in.
By headlines around the Tate case, more than half the girls in this class had already been contacted by an adult stranger online. Teachers say they're in a battle to shape the next generation against influencers.
My paralegal had an issue one time, and somebody had contacted her daughter, long time ago, and got her to do some things that online, and you can't protect your kids enough. You just and this online world with people like Andrew Tate, who is nothing more and nothing less than a predator, an absolute predator, and out for only one person, and that's himself.
Like Andrew Tate.
Once you're 18, if you want to get yourself a real man, I know a guy.
What's a real man?
Remember, Muhammad Adam, you're asking about those are old. That video, that clip that he just showed right now, Brother Muhammad Adam, that's a couple of weeks ago, after he became Muslim. Look what he's saying. Look what he's saying. After he became Muslim, after his whatchamacallit, his charges, everything. After his house arrest, he's still saying this. He's still talking like this. You can show somebody the truth, but you cannot force them to believe it. Right? And how this is like lightweight stuff, to be honest, because the proof is so much. It doesn't really take much convincing. You have to convince yourself the opposite at that point. You're not really interested in evidence at that point. Let's keep watching, y'all.
If you're 18, if you're an 18-year-old female right now, what's a real man to you? I mean, you're probably just starting to date. You know, you don't need a real man like Andrew Tate.
You do?
I do, yeah. I do know a guy.
Who is it?
What? It's a long story. I can't tell you exactly who because there's bad things about him.
Yo, there's no fucking way you just said that. No. I actually overheard that. The fact that you fucking said that shit is fucking crazy. That's fucked up. You were dead ass being a W fucking wingman, and the fact that you come in and say that shit is actually fucked up.
This is a non-Muslim talking now. Where are the Muslims? You don't have to use the language, but where is your so-called, whatchamacallit, chivalry? Where is it? How does this non-Muslim have more chivalry than all of these, mind control YouTubian bots combined? How is this even possible? This is a few weeks ago. This non-Muslim kid, he's a child, has more bravery than all of you combined? Because you want to live off of the clout of Andrew Tate? How is that even possible? And this was a few weeks ago, mind you.
Like, go on, bro. If you want to go.
And his girlfriend said, "Who is it?"
Fucking 18-year-old. That's weird. That is pretty weird. Because I know who you're talking about right now. You said once you turned 18, you would fly out to fucking Romania and fuck it. That is weird. That is fucking weird.
And this is a big problem because we can't do.
How does he have more vigor than all of y'all? How is that possible? Where's Muhammad Ijab? Where's Eddie from the Dean Show? Where's Daniel Hakikuchu? Where are any of you? What do you have to say about that? How is this child, non-Muslim child, outworking all of you? Put the language aside for a minute. He's a non-Muslim, okay? He's speaking how non-Muslims speak. We want to know, where are you guys?
To wake up in 20 years with like 2 million Andrew Tates.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. Y'all hear what she said? Listen, y'all.
Turn 18, you would fly out to fucking Romania and fuck it. That is weird. That is fucking weird.
And this is a big problem because we can't wake up in 20 years with like 2 million Andrew Tates.
That's exactly what's going to happen. It's happening now, man. Y'all remember, what's his face? Imran, what's his name, man? Dawaman. And he tried to do, what's it called? Some Andrew Tate type thing, be men being men, and he's in his skidoo and whatever, in a hotel and the cars and boats and all that kind of stuff and exercising and whatnot. You know what the ironic thing is? Muhammad Ijab, he said, he's not really like doing like that. And Muhammad Ijab now chasing after the coattails of the very same thing that Dawaman was doing. How ironic. But anyways, family, I want to thank Anti-Gravity 74. May Allah reward you and bless you and multiply it for you 1,000,000-fold. And me, thank you so much for your generosity. If you guys want to support the channel, you can do so on Patreon. You can do so on PayPal, and you can also do so on Buy Me a Coffee. You want to buy me a coffee or whatnot. We are going live tomorrow again. And thank everybody who joined me tonight and everybody who commented. The comments tonight were very good. They were awesome. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanaka bihamdik wa shada la ant wa astaghfiruka wa tubu ilaik wa salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.